So during the tour, on each night of the 6 readings across Scotland, each of the core 6 poets read with a different partner, so we created lots of different collaborations together. So what we're going to do is interchangeably share excerpts from those collaborations, rapid fire pairs. So up first is Sutherland and Sutherland Herd.
This is the song is called Energy Rush. It's by Suburban Delay from 1992. Me and Colin found a video of a rave in Glasgow of people dancing to this, and this is just a couple of small poems about those ravers. Go on, you can hold it to the... Okay, you go in front and hold the elevator doors. I'm gonna come in fast from behind like you're a quarterback and I'm your shoulder pad. So I'm going to test the force field in front of us and then slide back over your clavicle, zodding you inside this sheet of glass. Can you push your arms forward like nutcrackers, then swing them around to break up this fight that I'm imagining in my head between vibes and energy, while I jerk sway like CGI long grass as traffic cops explode into Flight of the Navigator, Twin Giraffe Sex Bob, the burning red air.
My chain link arm is really trippy, like a load of 80s overtyped concrete poems, Charles Bernstein's Veils or something by Robert Grenier. Solve a riddle by talking to everyone really loud. Take some kind of poll about what a great place this is. It's freaking amazing here, isn't it? It's freaking amazing here, isn't it? That's the question. So answer, oui ou non. The fish by the entrance really queased up on grease and just dumped there. Wee shipwreck carcasses, wee spare pairs of shoes. Did you never drink a Cosmopolitan out of Cinderella's slipper, her slipper, which actually fitted not all that terribly well, hence its fortuitous fall? I'm going to have to rush you now. There are queues and queues of people. Amazing freaking place this, oui ou non?
Mate, have you got Rush Sisters? Mate, have you got Complete by Rapid? Mate, have you got Big Run by Angst? Mate, have you got Control by New Spirit? Mate, have you got Massive? Have you got Massive? Have you got a big goblet of sound like a fucking king, mate? Mate, hey, have you stopped posh people riding trams in a dream? Hey, mate. Every day is nice when you put a cat in a box. Hey, have you got dynamite hair and a forest of yes, mate? Mate, I love Rome sunlight in the kitchen when you know we're together forever. Mate, that chorus is a magic trick on an Afghan veranda. Come on, mate, I could kiss an X-ray technician under a foil sky. Who's with me? What? No, you were the one that was talking. What were you saying? What were you saying? You were the one that was talking. It wasn't me, it was you. Yeah, me too, mate. Me too, mate.
Yeah. You've had your moment. This is called Primark.
People make such a big deal about summer and winter looks, but they often forget about trans-seasonal wardrobes.
It is possible to sell t-shirts for as little as £2 without compromising ethics.
Always check out the rear view and don't leave the house until you like what you see. Every angle matters. Trust us. It only takes a mirror.
It's an absolute outrage for anyone to suggest otherwise. Cheap t-shirts by candlelight.
The t-shirt knotted at the front is a great move.
Sewing tiny beads and sequins onto children as young as 11.
Crying out to be accessorized with a tub of frozen yogurt or a designer cleansing juice.
Children working at home waist deep in Primark clothes, embroidering dresses, fab and fabric.
This is how to pull off lurid fuchsia.
The young girls who were doing the sewing, degrading sweatshop conditions, looked very clean and well dressed, being paid just 60p a day to work in a refugee camp. 7p an hour keeps her here and Primark in profit. The electricity in the camp is poor at night, work by candle. This 9-year-old boy, the beats are very small.
Now, in jewel-like tones or pumped-up, supercharged fondant shades, think Mr. Kipling's for a truly killer summer style.
Sew collars, 1 a minute. Sleeves, 2 per minute. Iron 50 shirts an hour.
Show skin strategically.
I love Primark clothes. If I now stop buying them, we'll feel very guilty. Those lovely kids will go hungry and starve, be forced into a horrible way of life. Prostitution, scouring rubbish dumps for food come to mind. I wonder if they get a staff discount on the dresses.
Nothing quite beats a simple broderie anglaise white cotton summer dress paired with red-hot nails and smoking sunglasses.
Nick Clegg said he did not shop with a moral calculator.
A repeat offender where chic summer dressing is concerned.
I think cheap fashion's great. It doesn't really affect me whether it's been made by a 3-year-old or a 50-year-old. Wear it once and chuck it away.
This poem's called Nicholas and Maureen.
Nicky, make the most of your trip to London. Hi Nicky, your stay at City View in London is coming as less than a week away. We put together some useful tips and tricks to make the most of your stay. It's time to get excited about your trip to London. Here are some recommended attractions just for you. The results are in. You made a great choice. We collected insider advice to help you on your trip. Plan your journey door to door. Happy travelling. 1L. LOL.
Hey Nicholas, my name is Maureen. I'm the McGillivray at the Holistic Inn in London. What seems to be the barrier if you're consuming Cossington and condoning complaint? Is it because you get the till full with our local seabirds? The oil in the grape, the Ferndale granola, the Stuart Jerry's is so near they north that you might die anyways. I'd fooled you at this forum, all will be well, and I'll come and see you later.
Hi Maureen, I'll write your email. Thanks. Where are you? I'm nearby. Can we meet? I have something to show you.
So Colin and I found out that we both like the paintings of Oskar Kokoschka, and that he spent like the whole of the Second World War in Ullapool and travelling around the northern Scottish Isles, and as we were reading there we wrote some poems about Kokoschka. This is Kokoschka in Ullapool. I quickly shut the window, sat down on the edge of the bed and thought, to Felix Austria Nuber. Now everything was falling apart, as when a family shares out the estate of a dying relative.
Exchange is a compulsion, not a theme. Ullapool is a state of mind, so different to Vienna. The self is a compulsion, not a theme. Alma is a memory, not a place. But you're basically always there, basically always painting in this spooky little place, this echoing pool of ululation. Ullapool is a compulsion, and I felt it before I ever came here. I painted here. Before my feet set foot here, my brushes did, and once they did, they always would.
Oscar's pin holds the postcard from the Shetland lion. Oscar, of that whose nation is all-connecting, water-connecting neon. There can be no escape for us, Colin. No hope, no home, nation, fame. No question add to every want, all arched. Put up text quick, live even, like a mad whale. All day whale work, uncaught. Up they did of it, I'd think him, no her. They gulls have been warning. She comes, ovulating sea foam, creating new ones to crush him.
Kokoschka cries. The art of being loved. The trajectory of baroque palpitations. I have found inexpensive books on Kokoschka difficult to find, so put yourself in his shoes, clipped and gluey. Someone has a major crush on the word crush. On the palette, mixing your own paint, crushing your own skull. How does Emil Nolde fit into this? Ernst Ludwig Kirchner? But back to me. I crush the metal petals of spitfires in paintings of sheep. I make them really woolly and stupid looking, really tragic.
Hey Ryan, did you catch the sports? Are you a fan of the games that we're on? Will be on? The games series. What do you think will happen in the Today Sports? What team clothes are you sporting? What game is that? Who do you support? Fair enough, but who do you support again?
I support the pride and the hemorrhoid. I support the thrust and pivot and the spectacular slam. I wear the green and white and yellow paint. I pant so hard when we get close.
Is that the team with the azure sashes and the Lego eyes? Is that the team with the deer teleport motif? The team with the majority control over 4 lucrative heavy oil projects? The team with the microscopic team discovered in certain vessels of beech and maple that causes blindness, etc. I could go on.
All the mud, all the pretty horses, all the aimed elbows, all the fluids pouring into the ring, soaking the fields, more spit than 1,000 slide trombones. Look out the marching band and look out the widow. Look out for the hurdle, the grief, the inexplicable urge to die on the fall.
Ryan, you will experience disappointment when the team from my local sporting area defeats the team from your local sporting area. We will ride mountains all the way to the goal. We are a basket wrapped in a goal, hidden in a hole in one. We have already painted a watercolour of us holding aloft the victory cup, and it is incredibly realistic, Ryan. We are the Kim Jong-il of sports, Ryan. Your pitch is our green screen.
Ross, your team is a moneyed polyp on the anus of sport. Our boys play for love, not for the gold nor the cup. Our boys run for justice, truth, the fair-handed shake, and if there is a God, and if he sits with Jesus at his side, they're both cheering for us on Monday night, rain or shine.
Yes, Jesus has been playing excellently this season. He's been clinking zeppelins in the top end. He's been malleting horses match after match. He's done a very, very good job indeed, but compare his record to the attic bedroom where I've been crying for the last 4 years, and I think you'll see that there's little hope of happiness for your clan of tanned fictitious characters. No sex at crunch time, not this Sunday.
This is about complaining.
Not long now, until you're off on your travels. It is your responsibility to check with the airline that any onward flights you have confirmed are operating as booked. This is an automatic notification email that cannot accept incoming mail.
For a long time, this is how I thought a person should be. Phone melting in the crook of her shoulder, tea boiling, and manager, I want to speak. Manager, let me finish. Manager, you're not listening.
Your recent travel experience with US, your comments matter to US. For this reason, I have thoroughly reviewed your case. Your concerns have been sent to the appropriate leadership teams. We are working hard to end your continued patronage. I'm sorry you found the kiosk difficult to understand and navigate, given the issues that our industry continues to face in these volatile economic times. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to address you. I have carefully reviewed everything in you.
My entire body, one throbbing nose, relating to the guarantee obligation, sniffing, twitching when I try to sleep, worrying an obligation of a downstream affiliate. The stream is rapid, an obligation of other parties where there is only the sense of her perfume, an hour or less, in respect of the underlying obligations of the underlying obligor. That is not subordinated. In the end, he proposed direct obligations of the reference entity.
I am angry because a woman told me your computers are never wrong. I am familiar with technology. I am 36 years old, not 86. I am not daunted by flashing screens.
So Rhino, I've written together for a few years a series of poems that are about suburbs, because Ryan is the product of one, as am I.
New York suburbs. Dear Jesus, he opened his hands. Oh, you need to see this.
Let's huddle.
Let's share a mic like Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
What's that, dear?
I regret suggesting this. Start again, my friend.
Dear Jesus, he opened his hands.
So wide they had to nail them.
In place, why?
In
Silence on reading an article about a Dominican
nanny.
stabbing a 6-year-old to death.
He makes me look like a beginner
His own room in the
for
hotel.
disturbed young women.
Just remember and fill the balloon.
The law, death is the end.
Blood all over his face.
Like a beard.
Journalists of the pathetic detail.
Dousing a family in interest.
And I keep asking myself,
What to take pictures of.
these concussed towers, this
Flooded landscape, this sea.
saw of reason and
Does
madness,
the blood matter?
or the hands which brought it,
And I won't sleep without.
a poem, or if not a poem, a tug,
Call me a little pastry cook. My hands.
often too hot, too cold, too close.
Edinburgh suburbs.
No, that's it.
Sweet.
So these are based on the erotic love poetry of King James VI.
Dear Colin, it is a flexible instrument us men have inherited. It is amazing how much punishment we can take almost without protest. They say I coughed blood only because I laughed too much, and yet I am neither victim nor survivor. I have not suffered, and this will not cease with a foot in the mouth nor a mere finger in the pie. I am too tired to look for another hole in the ground. Play the piano for me. Play the one about the rolling heather.
Dear Ryan, I'm conscious that these are early eunuchs. Perhaps our collision will always occupy only the earliest, but in precedent, perhaps more rather than less endeavour of our mutual prophecies is required. I want it to be known that in all mazes except of heaving hearts, I am profoundly easily swayed, and that only in one wretched nozzle do I so dissuade myself, uncompromised. Make that one wretched novelette. It feels as if.
Good Colin, I cannot live any longer not knowing what will happen tomorrow. Pray tell, look into your tea leaves. I can toy with this eye-wrecking lacework no longer. Tell me the fate of Atlantis. Tell me of Troy and the horse. What was it like there in the dark body? All those swords, those bodies, those chosen men breathing quiet as they could.
Dear Ryan, I have had it with my femur. What may seem to some an interactive irrelevancy is in fact to me an irritant, a flea-bit felony if you really want to know. But I will pick myself up and narrow the scope. You're asking about tomorrow? It's surely dominated by the smallest of sunbathers quivering from the warmth of, you know what warmth, and you know how impossible its draw. Those tiny bathers, a nappy banquet. It's too tragicomic.
Dear Colin, it is impossible to stop wanting to repeat ourselves, and yet we make each word anew, as if no man had ever spoken it before. This is the hard part.
Dear Ryan, hard as in rocky, solid, iron-hearted, impenetrable, packed, so I understand. To avoid a debacle, embrace summings up. Perhaps we should betray our fitter selfishisms and motley underpinnings. But can I speak from the heart thus? Desires. I believe my words will no longer hold, and as it stands, you hang a fish from a hook, it will untangle itself, depending on the brain power of the fish. It's a stroll in the park for me.
Stephen, is it alright if I borrow your sheet?
Of course, my
I
friend.
thought I had it, but I've actually brought 2 copies of the synopsis of
As long as we don't have it as Ryan and I did, I regret that. So it became immediately obvious when Ross came on the tour that we'd have to collaborate. So we thought we'd do something different because people would probably be burned out with poetry by the time we started speaking. And we thought, what could we possibly offer? Very little, of course. But I got the Creative Scotland funding, and Ross, of course, has won lots of prizes. So maybe we could do something. One of the most winningest poets in the UK, Luke Wright, poet award winner many times over. So I thought what we would do is we would write some ways of phrasing different projects to kind of seek out some funding, but we need your help with that.
So if anybody has any ideas from the audience of subjects that you would be interested in turning into art, maybe me and Stephen can help flesh out that idea at all. Doesn't have to be a complex idea that you have, it can be very...
Just a noun, like a
noun
thing.
is fine.
What needs funding?
What needs
Apart from
funding?
individuals, no individuals.
What, you know, what lacks?
What needs funding? Nepotism. Okay.
More of that.
While I scan the internet for nepotism.org, Ross will start a dedicated Facebook page for the Nepotism Project. I will man the Twitter account and we will fashion memes about nepotism and post them relentlessly. We will update our moods and statuses with phrases like, is it just me, or does anyone else feel like nepotism right now? And I'm still getting over nepotism last night. It was so good, my knees hurt. We will then visit with cutting-edge information technology scientists in America and elsewhere to develop technology that will allow us to beam nepotism directly into your brain.
Another idea, please?
Audience participation.
Okay, we will design a video game in which players must attempt to stop audience participation by travelling back through time and systematically murdering all key players vaguely associated with the promotion of audience participation. I think that's very good.
Another one, my last, please be generous.
Otters.
Nice.
In
We will write a film script entitled Otters that will actually be about young street children in Rio learning about what it is to fall in love in a 20th century favela, but finishes with them painting a mural that says, Otters. At the end of the film, the boy or girl is killed tragically by an otter, blah, blah, blah.
One more from you, please.
Zebra crossings.
That was grave. Zebra crossings. Something happened to me there.
We will create a neurotoxin causing violent hallucinations of zebra crossings, which last for up to 18 hours after exposure. Audience members can be anywhere, a pub, making a sandwich, driving a coach, etc. All of a sudden, a hellish psychedelic diorama will descend upon them, literally out of thin air. This experience will allow audience members the opportunity to experience what it would feel like to have a zebra crossing actually there in the room with what shape would that take? What would the zebra crossing scream at you, given half a chance? Such questions will be answered.
Definitely get funding. Cheers.
So this is a poem where I took all the words free or freedom from the SNP white paper about the referendum. That's it. It's called Brave Hearts and Minds. Free of charge.
Our tradition of free education,
Protect free university.
principle of free education,
Continue to have free
the
access.
right to live free of discrimination,
Free personal care for the elderly.
and restored free education,
Free personal care for the elderly.
free personal care and decent pensions,
People in free.
free personal care,
Free prescription.
free higher education,
Free concessionary travel.
support existing tax-free,
Scotland will be free.
free at the point of need,
Free personal and nursing care.
to support tax-free savings,
It will also free up money.
such as free school meals,
Freedom to invest in housing supply.
a free, truly public service,
Delivering free personal care.
introduce free personal care.
An introduction of free eye tests
This government will protect free,
will give Scotland the powers to free children.
free university tuition.
Restore free access.
Our priorities for action
Free.
to have free access
Free education for those able to benefit.
with the principles of free movement,
Which could undermine prosperity, well-being and freedom.
protecting free education
Including fisheries, agriculture, research and creativity and freedom.
with free movement of goods,
A partnership approach to freedom.
the free movement of nationals,
Fundamental freedoms.
Spending will also free up valuable resources
Our fundamental rights and freedoms!
to privacy and freedom of expression.
As Scots are free now,
Disease-free,
nuclear free,
Scotland will be free to design a new means of funding
given creative freedom!
and entitlement to live free.
The rights and freedoms of everyone.
Freedom of information,
Free up the central belt.
allowing free and safe movement of aircraft,
Ensuring the free movement of goods.
free movement of labour,
Carefree.
free prescriptions,
Things like free prescriptions.
carefree.
This includes free.
What happened to free,
The successful policy of free.
including free?
Travel free.
Would they be free?
Free to choose.
The principles of free,
Status free.
free movement across the border.
Currently allows freedom!
Scotland citizens enjoy freedom!
Of movement
Will ensure free movement.
related to free view and
Free states.
services that are currently free.
Entry is free to core.
A fair trial and freedom!
Freedom of everyone.
Life or freedom!
As free personal care
That government restored free
and introduced free.
rights and freedoms!
Well, thank you very much for coming this evening. It's been an incredible month. This has been a lovely evening in which to close it all out. Everyone who read tonight, we've developed a tradition on the tour of having a group photo. So please, all the poets, come to the front at the end. Thanks again. The next Enemies project is Ireland in September. So there'll be an event here at the end of September after a tour of Ireland. So please come then. Thanks. Good night.